Next, we have an interview with Cody Blue Snider, who is a director and writer at Circle of Confusion and STT Productions out of New York. He is also the son of Dee Snider of Twisted Sister fame. He was working down there. Dee Snider went there along with his son. His son was going to be doing some documentary filmmaking about the events at Standing Rock, and they were also there working with AIM from California. Is that correct, Ron?
From California, yep.
Mm-hmm. Here's his interview. So this is Cindy from KPPP-LP 88.1 FM, and I am here with press. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell us where you're from?
Yeah, my name's Cody Blue Snider. I'm actually a little bit of an unorthodox press. I'm here with AIM, working with Grey Wolf, but it's actually for a documentary hybrid music video for Dee Snider. I'm his son. I'm also the director of the music video.
I just saw him earlier.
Yeah, that's what he came out. He came out for us. So he's
Much appreciated.
I mean, it's the least we can do. I mean, we worked on a bunch of treatments. It's actually a funny story. We had Dee was on Celebrity Apprentice with Trump a couple seasons. And Trump actually was even using his song as a campaign song. And my father is very progressive, had to ask him to stop. But ultimately, the point is the financier pulled, and we had a smaller budget, something about $25,000, and we were like, let's just put all the money into getting some real film equipment, and let's go down there and let's just shoot the Dakota Access Pipeline in a way that people haven't seen it before. So we're down here with high-grade film cameras, whether it's Girl with the Dragon Tooth Tattoo's been shot, so all big Hollywood studio movies, anamorphic lenses. We're shooting black and white with an infrared filter, so it looks really poetic and beautiful. So, we came down here, and we knew, but you don't really know until you're here, and you just don't know, and we're aware, and the entire crew is, they're young, they're pretty young, and we're all with the spreading of information, the proliferation of information with the internet, and the access to it with Netflix and everything. Ignorance is no longer an excuse, but with information comes a responsibility. So we felt like we could come out here and, that we might be able to shine a light on it or use our abilities to shine a light on it. But now that we're here, it is so much greater than this, and the corruption is so deep. I mean, outside of dealing with the fact that we're dealing with the colonized people who were genocided, and this is still the perpetuation of a colonization that started centuries ago. Outside of that, we're talking about big oil, which is destroying the world. Everyone running around will go, maybe I drink more green juice, maybe that will get rid of my cancer. Why are breast cancer increasing? Why is this? Why is that? Why is everyone getting leukemia? This is it. They have so much power, and people want to think, they want to make excuses. These people, not only do they make the oil and they build the pipes, they also own the companies that clean up the oil spills. So it's profitable for them to even be cleaning up the oil spills. This is so systemic. This is so deep. They're tied directly into the banks, and this is dark. Yeah, I'm rambling a bit, but I just came. Yeah.
I know you look traumatized, brother. I have to tell you, I'm watching your eyes.
It's dark.
I'm watching your eyes, and you look traumatized, and you just came from the front lines. Tell me what you saw. I mean, the raw emotion of what you just experienced needs to be expressed to the world.
I just said this to you before we start recording. The fact of the matter is that there is a civil war taking place in America, and it's between the people and the corporations, and it's that simple. And everyone's so secretive within the camps because there's infiltrators and there is misinformation, and everyone is very protective, and there is a paranoia that comes with that. I mean, the rumors are intense, but you have, I don't want to perpetuate the fear, but there's a lot of bad stuff from people, poisoning of water to planes flying by and dropping things to it's just hard, guns being planted on people being arrested, it's just terrible, but the point is, I guess, is we it's so secretive that we've been waiting all day to shoot a protest, because we thought, hey, we'll get in it, we'll cover the protest, it's a bunch of people standing in front of them, and then, if something like maybe someone gets maced or something, right? We find out that there was a protest that started, that they tried to take the bridge. We drive down, and it is full-on war. It is just hordes of people peacefully, and that's the thing. Nobody has drugs on them, nobody has weapons on them, and you simply can't, because it gives them a reason to incarcerate you. All right, nobody has weapons, nobody has drugs, and everyone is standing there in peaceful protest, and they are just being shot point-blank range with hoses, and it's ice, it's freezing cold. It's freezing cold with fire hoses, multiple fire hoses, and getting shot with rubber bullets, and being tased and maced and beaten, and there's all these people, all these peaceful protesters, and we're talking about students from all over the world, from Brown and Harvard and Berkeley, young, brilliant minds of this generation, who all are coming down to do something, and they're there in peaceful protest, and you have all these people ushering in, medic, and these kids are getting ushered out. And they're getting ushered out, and people are running. Everyone's just trying to help each other. You have all these people running in goggles, earplugs, because they're using
LRADs.
LRADs, yeah. They're using that technology, which is what's the deal with this technology, Chinisi? That ultimately, it's technology that they emit a high pitched frequency that makes you essentially release your bodily functions, and you'll vomit everywhere and release your bowels. Yeah, is that what's up? Whatever. It's some experimental, messed up technology, but this is a complete militarization against a population. We got there and we couldn't even shoot at first. We were just so stunned that this is actually what's happening, and it's just people being. It's just these waves of martyrs, of young martyrs, and they go to the front lines and they just get beaten and beaten and beaten until they get carried out by other water protectors and people that want to make a change, and then when the pain subsides, they go back and they take more of the beating, and they do it again and again, and it's crazy. It's crazy. We're the media, and we were tear gassed, and our director of photography was shot. The rubber bullet, and we really even couldn't get to the front lines to really cover what's going on, and that's a violation of our amendments, and everyone needs to understand that this is a battle against the corporations. There's a divide in this country, and it seems to always, everybody knows there's corruption, everybody knows there's manipulation, there's disinformation, there's dissent. But there seems to be, people think it's either the corporations or the government, and people divide. People we just point at each other, and the tricky thing is it's both. That's the paradox. It's both, but it's because they've infected one another. They're with things like Citizens United, and we are in a place where evolution has been halted because archaic systems are fighting for their life and their survival. And they're strangling the people on the planet. Yeah, and yeah, but yeah, and that's where we are, And I think the crazy thing is, I'm 26. I turn 27 soon. I thought we were further along. I thought. Yeah, I did think there was a shift in consciousness. I do. I still do. But I don't know how this is going to end. Yeah. I don't know how this is going to end. Yeah. Sorry. No, it's cool, Yeah, no. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's cool. Yeah, it's it is what it is. I'm not,
That shouldn't have happened to you.
No, please. That wasn't, and nothing happened to us. This was not bad. Well, what happened to us was not, we experienced a little bit of tear gas, and we're like, oh my god, that is horrible. That is horrible. But we couldn't get close enough because the equipment would be destroyed. And we have expensive equipment out here because we brought film equipment. So we couldn't really be close enough because we wouldn't be able to shoot anymore and it'd be a moot point. So we had to protect the equipment because our job is to capture this. But the fact is we couldn't get close enough. And that's one of the reasons they use the tactics they use. I mean, not only does it just make all the protests this. I mean, you guys know. I mean, you're reporting on this. You know how deep this goes, and I wish I could sit here and I could rally off everything. And we had in the crazy. This is the thing. Yeah, what's up, Chin? You just listening? You just getting on this?
No, I just really appreciate you being here. I really appreciate you being here.
Thanks. You good?
I appreciate you being here.
No, I enjoy.
And
it's nice to talk about this. It makes me feel better.
And I thank you so much for the interview and for sharing your experience of being here.
Thanks. Yeah, there's one other thing I want to say, which is very. This is the most bizarre, incredible thing about this.
Hold the microphone.
Yeah, no, this is.
You got me crying, dude.
No, man.
Oh my God.
I know. It's this. You have a faction of brilliant people, and this is all a spiritual movement. It is amazing because this is centered within, this is focused on the indigenous people, and this is coming full circle. We're in a very, very interesting time. This is something I never speak about. Honestly, I'm partly embarrassed about it. And that's also a problem. We have to be willing to speak our truth and to not be worried about being embarrassed or being judged. And it's part of the problem. I'm working on that. And that's and that's the thing, right? It's all. The external is all a metaphor for the self. All we can do is look at ourselves and try to change ourselves, right? So, or heal whatever we're seeing in other people. Heal whatever that is within yourself, that you're seeing on the outside. But I digress. The point is that it's a really fascinating thing that with our science, at a certain point, we've moved to quantum physics, from Newtonian physics to quantum physics. And we are now validating the very fundamental understandings that the ancient people felt. We're now validating the spiritual belief systems that the ancient people always said, and our science is there to prove it. We now know everything's energy, the same energy. We now know our consciousness affects the external reality. We now know that
we're all connected.
All connected, and we're all one. Yeah, we're all relatives. The fact that, so the fascinating thing is, you're spending these time in the camps with these ancient people with this wisdom, and it's all love and spirit, and it's all in prayer. Everything is in prayer. So everything is in peace and love and prayer. And then you just watch them be beaten and beaten and beaten by these corporations that are just infected with greed. And there was something that's always stuck with me, which I don't know what tribe it was, but they had a word for something called, I think it was called Withika, and it meant to want more than you need. And I think many of us have heard this before, but Withika, right, means to want more than you need. And all indigenous people from all around the world had a name for this, and it was a mental pathology. It was a disease, and they treated it like a mental disease. If you wanted more than you need, if you were out of balance, if you were not living like everything else in nature and only taking what you need, you got treated for a mental insanity. And then the European imperialists came along, who they knew right away were infected with Withika, and founded an entire culture based on this disease, this mental illness of wanting more than you need. And we see it at a systemic level. We see it at a systemic level with all these corporations that just take. And it's just a fallacy. It's wrong.
It is, definitely. Thank you so much for your interview.